Assalamu alaikum friends. I hope that you guys are fine and doing great. Today we are going to upload our next video related to financial reporting series. In our previous video we have discussed with you IAS 1 and regulatory framework for preparation of financial statements. In our today's video we are going to discuss with you International Accounting Standard 8 in detail in an easy to understand manner for you. So guys, please listen to our video till the end as we are going to cover IAS 8 in detail in each and every aspect today, and listening to our today's lecture will help you apply the standard as a student and as a professional in your lives. So friends, let's start. Get ready. Please stay focused. Listen to our video till the end, and if there are any questions or comments, you can always get in touch with us by leaving your comment in the comment section, and you know that we value your comments. So, objective and scope of IAS 8. The standard covers the layout which explains the criteria for selection and adoption of accounting policies. IAS 8 guides that if there is a change in accounting policy, then how to properly account for the change in accounting policy in order to prevent uh, the users from being misguided due to any change in accounting policy, and in order to present relevant and reliable information to all the users of financial statements. The standard also covers the changes in accounting estimates. We will also discuss the correction of errors, current period error and prior period error in our today's presentation. Prior period adjustment due to change in accounting policy and change and correction of prior period error require retrospective application, and retrospective application may affect the taxable income of the business of prior period, and it may have uh, impact on the calculation of tax liability presented in the financial statements, but the effects on tax liability relating to prior period financial statements are not covered by IAS 8. In fact, they are dealt with their specific standard IAS 12. So this is not going to be our area today. We are going to put our focus on IAS 8. So, accounting policies. Accounting policies are specific principles, bases, conventions, rules, and practices that are adopted by an entity in the preparation of financial statements. So, it is basically the recognition rules, the measurement methods, and the presentation of items in the financial statement, which are defined as accounting policies adopted by an organization. We will later on discuss the basis for selection of accounting policies, uh, accounting estimate. Accounting estimate, basically, due to the uncertainties involved in the business world, a lot of items in the financial statement require management judgment and require the management to develop estimates in order to drive figures which are to be reported in the financial statements of the business. For example, the provision for write-off of any receivables, or the provision for obsolescence of any inventory, or the measurement of fair value of financial assets and financial liabilities in the financial statements, all require the management to make estimates based on facts and figures which are available to the management at the time of preparation of financial statements. Errors. Prior period errors are basically omissions or misstatement in financial statements for one or more prior period that are due to misuse or failure to use information which can be reasonably expected to be available to the management while management was involved in preparation of financial statement for those prior periods. Errors may involve mathematical mistakes in applying accounting policies or oversight and misinterpretation of facts, which may be either unintentionally or by intention, which is defined as fraud. Retrospective application. What is retrospective application? It means applying a change in accounting policy or applying a new accounting policy on transition and events like the accounting policy have adopted, have always been applied in the similar fashion. The objective of retrospective application is to achieve consistency and to avoid misguiding users of financial statement. Prospective application means applying the changes in accounting policy on current and future period only and not adjusting the previous figures. Retrospective restatement means correction of recognition, measurement, and disclosure of elements of financial statement which are related to prior period as if those errors had never occurred. While prospective restatement means correction of error in the current accounting period. Impracticable. Applying retrospective restatement or application is not practical when either of the following situation exists. Effect cannot be determined reasonably. It requires estimate of management's intention in that period, and it requires significant estimate, and it is not possible to develop estimates by separately identifying the facts which could be expected to have been available to management at the time of preparing financial statement for those prior periods. So friends, accounting policies, how they can be selected, what are the sources of guidance, and how they are applied. Whenever there is an IFRS covering a specific transition or event related to the recognition, measurement, and presentation of that item, then the accountant should adopt the guidance given in that IFRS for properly presenting, recognizing, and disclosing that item in the financial statements. While if there is no specific IFRS, then management is required to make judgment in developing accounting policies for transition or event for which there is no specific IFRS in existence. The judgment which management makes should be in consistency with the general conceptual reporting framework which is used by International Accounting Standard Board in development of IFRS. So the characteristic management should keep in mind while developing accounting policies for which there is no specific IFRS in place, that it will result in information which is relevant to the decision making needs of users. It will result in information which is reliable and represents the facts faithfully. It will reflect economic substance of the transition and are neutral, prudent, and complete in all respects. Exercise of judgment in selection of accounting policies. How management can develop accounting policies where there are no specific IFRS in place. Management can check the treatment given in IFRS for similar transition and events. They can be a source of reference for management for developing accounting policies for such events which are not covered in a specific IFRS. Definition, recognition, and measurement concept which are explained in the conceptual framework based on which IASP is developing reporting standards. Pronouncement issued by any other standard setting board that use a similar conceptual reporting framework can also be used. Other accounting literature which is consistent with the framework can be used, and industry practice can be used as a source of guidance by management for development of accounting policies. Consistency. Accounting policies should be applied consistently on similar transition and event unless IFRS requires a permit classification of event and transition into different types. Even if IFRS allows categorization of event and transition into different types, then the accounting policy adopted for a specific categorization, specific category should be same for the whole category of transition. Changes in accounting policy. Changes in policy can be made when there is a change in IFRS, when a change in accounting policy is required by IFRS, or change will result in more relevant, reliable presentation of transition in financial statement. Management can change accounting policy when a change is required by IFRS, or a change in accounting policy can be made when the change will result in more relevant, reliable presentation of transition in financial statements. So we have discussed with you the sources of accounting policies, if they are related to a specific transition which are covered by specific IFRS, then that treatment should be adopted. If they are not covered by specific IFRS, then the general conceptual reporting framework which is adopted by IASP in development of standards should be used, and any other pronouncement issued by any other standard setting board which also adopt the similar conceptual reporting framework can also be used as a source of guidance, or industry practice can be used. Now we are discussing with you that then we discussed that accounting policy should be adopted in a consistent manner so that financial statement can be compared with prior period over time, and trends can be developed and analyzed in order to make reasonable judgments, and in order to enable stakeholders of the business and company to make informed decision based on financial statement. So now we are discussing with you that when a change in accounting policy is required, or when it can be made. A change in accounting policy may be required by a change in IFRS, or a change is also allowed by IAS 8 if the change will result in more relevant and reliable information in the financial statement. Such a change which is not led by IFRS is also known as a voluntary change, which is adopted by the management, and the objective should be to produce more qualitative information in the financial statements. So now we are going to discuss with you that what is not a change in accounting policy. If a different treatment for transition that differ in substance form from previous transition is adopted, then it is not a change in accounting policy. It is basically the adoption of correct accounting policy for different accounting transition. If different treatment for transition is adopted that did not occur previously and are different in nature from previous transition, then it is also not a change in accounting policy. Or initial application of policy to revalue assets in accordance with IS 16 or 38 are changes in accounting policy, but they are dealt in accordance with the guidance given in the specific standard and not covered by IS 8, so will not be our area for today's presentation for you. So friends, simply adoption of a different accounting policy for transition which did not occur previously, or which differ in substance form from previous transition, is not a change in accounting policy. It is an adoption of the right accounting policy for the relevant transitions. How a change in accounting policy should be adopted. When a change in accounting policy is made due to a change in IFRS, then the change should be reflected in the financial statement as per the guidance given in the IFRS. Certain IFRS contain transitional provision which specifically guide the users that how the changes in IFRS need to be applied, and this may also uh, require the user to apply new provision on prospective basis. So whenever a change in accounting policy is led by a change in IFRS, then the change in accounting policy will be accounted for in accordance with the guidance given in that IFRS, and if that IFRS includes transitional provisions, then those guidelines will be adopted. If transitional provisions are not given in IFRS, or if policy change is uh, voluntarily and is adopted by management in order to produce more qualitative information in financial statements, then the change in accounting policy need to be applied on a retrospective basis, which means that applying the policy in such a manner as if it had been applied since the beginning. Retrospective application of a change in policy. What is retrospective application? Entity shall adjust the opening balance of each affected component of equity for earliest prior period presented in financial statements. Basically, whenever you are preparing financial statement in a period when there is a change in accounting policy, you will be required to prepare a statement of financial position as at the beginning of the comparative period, which is presented along with the financial statement for the current period. So this will basically mean that the opening balance of the comparative period, which is presented along with the financial statement, will need to be updated for each individual element which is affected by the change in accounting policy, and the impact on the EPS will also need to be disclosed. Entity shall adjust comparative amount disclosed for each prior period presented. Entity need to adjust comparative amount which are presented in the financial statement for each prior period presented. So in a change, when there is a change in accounting policy, two set of financial statement with two comparatives will be prepared. For example, if you are preparing financial statement for 2019, then you need to prepare financial statement as at the beginning of the comparative period, which is 2018, and 2018 comparative will include the balance sheet for 2017 as well, and that means that the opening balances of 2017 will need to be updated, and then 2018 and 19 will also be updated in the financial statements. So friends, as we have discussed that preparation of financial statement also requires uh, judgment, also requires management to exercise judgment in order to develop estimates. We're going to discuss that if there are any limitation in retrospective application of changes in accounting policy, then what guidance is given in IFRS 8. When retrospective application is required, then it should be applied to the extent that it is impracticable to determine period specific effect or cumulative effect of the change. When it is not practicable to determine period specific effect on comparative information for one or more period which are presented in the accounts, entity shall apply the change to the carrying amount of the asset and liability as at the beginning of the earliest period for which retrospective is imperative. For example, in the earlier example we discussed with you, if you are required to prepare financial statement for 19 and 2018 is the comparative, and based on the fact available and the figures available, it's not possible for you to restate the figure for 2017, then at least you are going to restate the comparative for 2018, the opening balances for 2018, and you are also going to update 2019 figures as well. So the earliest period by which the retrospective application can be determined need to be updated whenever there is a change in accounting policy, unless a transitional provision have been given in the new IFRS and the change is being made due to change in the IFRS. When it is not possible to just carrying values at the opening of the current accounting period, then change in accounting policy will be applied prospectively. When it is not possible that you are preparing financial statement, and even for the current period you are unable to determine the impact on the opening balances for the current period, then the change on accounting policy is allowed to be adopted on a prospective manner by the IFRS. Retrospective application requires change in carrying value of asset and liabilities both at beginning and end of 12-month accounting period. So if you are preparing financial statement for 2019, you will be updating the carrying values at the start of 2019 at the start of the comparative period, which is 2018, and that will also in the start from the financial statement implementation of the period prior to 2018 as well. So now we are going to discuss with you the disclosure which is required to be made in the financial statement whenever a change in accounting policy is triggered. When there is a change in accounting policy which is triggered due to a new IFRS or a change in IFRS, then the following must be disclosed in the financial statement: the title of the IFRS, any transitional provisions given in the IFRS, the nature of the change in the policy, description of transitional provision must be made. When applicable, adjustment made to current and prior period of each financial statement line item and the effect of changes in earning per share, amount of adjustment to period before presented to extent if practicable. If retrospective, not practical, explanation of the fact and explanation at how change in accounting policy have been accounted for. Financial statement of prior period need not repeat those disclosures. When there is a change in accounting policy which is voluntarily, then the following must be disclosed: the nature must be disclosed, the reason for change in policy must be disclosed, when applicable, adjustment made to the current and prior period figures and the effect of the adjustment on the EPS must be disclosed, amount of adjustments to periods which are presented to extend it is practical. If retrospective application is not possible, then explanation of the facts and explanation that how change in policy have been accounted for. Financial statement of prior period need not repeat those disclosures. So, when an entity have not applied a new IFRS because it is not yet effective, then the following disclosures are required by IAS Act. If you are a student or if you are a professional, you also view in the financial statement of the company a specific note which details all the IFRS which are new but which are not yet effective in the notes to the financial statement of the companies. So those notes are basically in line with the guidance given in the IAS 8, and the IAS 8 requires the title of the new IFRS, what will be the nature of change in the accounting policy led by the new IFRS, date by which the new IFRS application is required, date by which the entity plans to apply the IFRS initially, and the discussion of impact of application of new IFRS. So, friends, accounting estimates. Due to inherent uncertainties, many items in financial statement are estimated. It involves judgment based on latest available information available at the time of preparation of financial statements. What are the few examples of accounting estimate that we can discuss? The provision for bad debt, the provision for inventory obsolescence, fair value measurement, fair value estimates of financial assets and liabilities, pattern of consumption of benefit associated with depreciable assets, warranty obligation. Estimates may need to be revised based on changes in fact which are available to the management at the time of preparation of financial statements. Changes related to the changes related to changes in current period. So only prospective application is required for a change in accounting estimate. Change in measurement basis is a change in accounting policy and not a change in accounting estimate. For example, if you were previously if you were previously charging the interest cost related to borrowing for construction of qualifying assets, and you were treating it as a period cost, and now you are capitalizing it and making it a part of the cost of the asset as per IAS 23, then it is a change in accounting policy and it should be adjusted on a retrospective basis. So what is the treatment for change in an accounting estimate? Change in an accounting estimate, because it depends on changes in facts available to the management in current period, the change is applied only prospectively. Impact may be on current impact of changes in accounting estimate may be on current and future reporting period. To the extent change has an impact on the carrying values, it results in adjustment of carrying values in period of change. Change in depreciation method, straight line to reducing balance. Example of accounting estimate which may affect only current period are as follows: provision for bad debt, because in every period a new estimate will be made for it. Provision for inventory obsolescence, be revised every period. Fair value estimate of financial instrument. Example of estimate which may affect current and future reporting period are depreciation, pattern of consumption of benefit associated with depreciable assets. Disclosure of changes in accounting estimates. Nature of changes in estimate. Effect of change in current and future period. Whenever there is a change in accounting estimate, we need to disclose the nature of change in accounting estimate, the effect of change in current and future periods. If the future impact cannot be predicted, then the fact needs to be disclosed. So what is an accounting error? Errors may be related to recognition, measurement, presentation, or disclosures. Financial statements do not comply with IFRS if they contain errors which are material or are made intentionally to present a particular financial performance or financial status. If related to current period, should be corrected before financial statement for the current period are authorized for issuance, or if the accounting error relates to a prior period, then the comparative financial statement are required to be listed. If the error in comparative financial statement, if the error is made in the previous year, then the comparative financial statement are updated. Or if the error relates to a period prior to the previous period, then the opening balances for the comparative financial statement will be updated. Limitation on the retrospective application of prior period error. Correction of prior period error requires retrospective correction in financial statement. However, if period specific effect or cumulative effect cannot be determined, then entity shall restate the opening balances of the earliest possible period for which retrospective application is practical. If cumulative effect at beginning of current period cannot be determined, then the adjustment needs to be made prospectively. So what are the disclosures required for correction of accounting errors? Nature of prior period error need to be disclosed. For each prior period, the amount of adjustment on each line item and impact on EPS for those period must be disclosed. Amount of correction at the beginning of earliest prior period must be presented. If retrospective application is not possible, then the fact and description of how the matter have been addressed need to be disclosed. So retrospective application. Changes in accounting policy and prior period error require retrospective application. Financial statement require management to make certain estimate based on available facts at the time of preparation of financial statements. While making retrospective application, facts should be kept in mind that estimate need to be based on facts which were available to the management at the time of preparation of financial statement for prior periods. So friends, this was IAS 8 for you in detail. Now I'm going to discuss with you the summary of our today's presentation, so that you can just make a few key notes of what we have discussed today in our today's presentation. Accounting policy. Accounting policy is the are the principles, bases, conventions, and rules which are related to recognition. For example, whether a transaction is recognized as an asset, as a liability, as an income, as an expense, the method of measurement, and the presentation of the financial statement in the financial statement. Whenever there is a change in accounting policy, you should keep in mind that you need to first of all check whether the change in accounting policy is driven by a change in IFRS or whether the change is voluntary. If the change in accounting policy is driven by an IFRS, then the change must be addressed in the financial statement as per the guideline given in the IFRS. For example, certain IFRS like recently IFRS 15, IFRS 9 became IFRS 16 were updated. All these standards contain transitional provision, which mean that changes in accounting policy due to the changes in these IFRS were applied on prospective basis, not on retrospective basis. If the change in accounting policy is voluntarily, then the change in accounting policy is voluntarily, then always a retrospective application is required unless it is not practical. And if it is not practical, then you need to adjust the figures to the extent that it is possible. This was the slide in which we covered with you that what are the basis for selection of accounting policies. If there is specific IFRS, then you need to apply it. If there is no specific IFRS, then you need to adopt an accounting policy that will present relevant and reliable information for the users, and that will present relevant and reliable information for the user and is in line with the conceptual framework which is adopted by IASB in the preparation of financial statements. What are the basis, what are the certain guidance available for management for development of accounting policy which are not covered as specific IFRS? We discussed that the conceptual framework need to be considered, the definition, recognition, measurement criteria need to be discussed, treatment in IFRS for similar items need to be checked, industry practice if in line with the conceptual reporting framework, the pronouncement issued by other standard setting board if they are in line with the conceptual framework issued by IASB, then those guidelines can be used for selection of appropriate accounting policies. Consistency is the key. You need to apply accounting policies on a consistent basis and for similar transaction and event. However, IFRS may allow categorization of certain items. For example, IFRS 16 allows categorization of property, plant and equipment into different assets like land, building, machinery, lab equipment. So if you are measuring laboratory equipment on a revalued basis, then you need to measure all the laboratory equipment on revalued basis. But other categories, for example land, building and machinery, can be applied on a historical cost basis. But whatever policy which you have chosen for a certain category of assets which is allowed as per IFRS should be applied consistently. The objective of consistency is to enable users to analyze the trend of financial performance and financial performance of the business during the period. When there is a change in accounting policy, it can be made if it is required by IFRS or if it will result in better presentation of information. What is not a change in accounting policy? If a new item which differs in substance or which have not occurred previously is dealt with in accordance with accounting policy, which is different from previous item, is not a change, because applying changes in accounting policies need to be applied if driven by IFRS as per the guidance given in IFRS voluntarily, then a retrospective application is required. Retrospective application requires the changes in the comparative period figures, and the opening shipment of contribution is required for the comparative period as well. Limitation on retrospective application of changes in policy, if exist, then you need to apply retrospective application on the earliest possible basis, and if it is not possible at all, then retrospective application is allowed, but the fact need to be disclosed properly in the financial statements. What are the few examples of accounting policies and accounting estimates? Accounting policy, for example, the borrowing cost was capitalized but now it is not capitalized in financial statements, need to be disclosed separately. When there are limitations, then you need to apply changes in accounting policy to by adjusting the carrying value of the earliest possible period. If it is not possible at all, then prospective application is required, but it need to be disclosed properly in the financial statements. Then we have discussed with you the change disclosures for changes in accounting policy, the changes led by IFRS, or if the then you need to disclose the title of the IFRS and transitional provision, the nature of change in policy, description of transitional provision when applicable, adjustment made to current and prior period to each financial statement line item and effect of changes in earning per share, amount of adjustment to period before presented to extent practical, if retrospective not practical, then explanation of the fact and explanation at within of prior period need to report those disclosures. If the change is voluntarily, then the nature of change in policy, reason of change when applicable, adjustment made to current and prior period to each financial statement line item and effect of changes in earning per share, amount of adjustment to prior period, retrospective not practical, then explanation of the fact that why it's not practical, and financial statement of prior period does not need to report the disclosure. Then if a new IFRS which have not been effective, then the following need to be disclosed: the title of the IFRS, the change in accounting policy, date by which will be applied, the description of possible impact which the new IFRS is going to have on the entity. Then we discussed what are the accounting estimate, the types, provision for bad debt, provision for inventory obsolescence, fair value of estimate of financial instrument, pattern of conversion of benefit associated with depreciable assets and warranty obligations. Accounting estimate whenever there is a change in accounting policy, it is made on retrospective. Whenever there is a change in accounting estimate, then only prospective application is required, and it may affect current and future period depending on the change in the estimate. For example, change related to depreciation will be have an effect on future period as well, while change related to provision for bad debt or provision for inventory obsolescence or fair value measurement are related to current period only. So the disclosure required for change in accounting policy are the nature, the effect of the change in accounting estimate, and if the future possible impact of the change in accounting estimate, if it cannot be determined, then the statement disclosing the fact that the future impact cannot be determined for the change in accounting estimate need to be made in the financial statements. Accounting errors, if in current period, a current period, if prior period, a prior period. Again, if there are limitation on retrospective application, then the earliest possible period need to be listed. If the earliest possible period cannot be listed, then the current period need to be adjusted, but the fact need to be disclosed in appropriate manner for users to understand the nature of the error and how it have been properly listed in the financial statements. Disclosure of correction of error, nature of prior period error for each prior period, the amount of adjustment on each line item and impact on EPS, amount of correction at beginning of earliest prior period. The explanation is not possible in the fact and description of how the matter have been addressed. A general guideline have been given in IFRS that while making retrospective application, those facts need to be considered which were available to the management at the time of preparation of financial statements. So friends, I hope that our today's video will help you understand IAS 8 changes in accounting policies and estimates and errors in detail. If there is any question, you can leave your comment. Thank you for listening our video in detail. Please stay connected as we are going to upload new videos related to IFRS, cost accounting, career consultancy series, and you can also share your ideas and comments for any particular areas of interest. Thank you for being with us. Please provide your feedback. Please like our video, share it with your friends. Take good care of yourself and your families. Stay motivated, stay energized, keep close to your loved ones, work on continuous professional development, work on improving yourself on a continuous basis, and CPD, continuous professional development, is a key to success. You should adopt continuous professional development, then you will be successful in your professional lives. Thank you for being with us. Please subscribe our channel so that you are automatically notified whenever we upload a new video. Thank you. Take care. Bye. Friends, thank you for listening our video related to IS 8 today. Uh, the presentation for our today's video lecture can be downloaded from the link given in the comment section of our today's video. Thank you for being with us. Take care.